Okay, I have the guts out of the CLD-1850, and the problem with the machine was it was not actually raising the deck within the machine. I figured it was just a rubber band. So I changed both rubber bands, the one on the laser pickup and the one on the front gearbox. It still didn't work. So I figured there's no more damage I can do to this thing. It's not going to work ever again unless I can do something with it. So I decided, feck that, I'm going to take it apart. So that's exactly what I've done. I don't recommend you try this because you're probably going to wreck a machine that's working. But what I've done is basically I took the whole thing apart, took pictures and stuff like that to see where things are, because it is vital that the arrows point in a certain direction and that the gear that sits on top of here that was broken sits in a certain direction. So there's the two gears, that's the way they came off. The arrows are pointing this way and this way. So if you look at the actual machine, the arrows are pointing that way and that way when the drive is open. I think. I think. So that's why I'm putting it back together. Whether it'll work or not, I have no idea. Okay, so hold on. So this is the gear that was broken that I discovered. I found 2 or 3 little bits of black plastic, and I mean tiny little bits, and I figured, man, they're broken off something, but what, I have no idea. So, like I said, I just took the thing apart there a few minutes ago. I was like, feck this, I've got to find this out, what's going on here. Why isn't the deck raising? The gears all seem to be spinning. I can't see any gear missing or broken, but why isn't the deck raising? So I took this gear out, I turned it over. As you can see, the little leg had come off of here. So you're now saying, what is that? Well, that's a nail. Yes, I have just jammed a nail into it because I figured it was the strongest thing that will go through there. This ABS plastic is pretty tough, so I figured, feck it, I'll put it through a little panel pin through the hole and see if that'll work. Now, manually turning the gear, the deck seems to be rising, so I may have solved the problem. I may not have solved the problem, but there really is only one way to find out. That's to reassemble the whole thing and see what happens. So I'm now going to video the reassembly of the whole thing, and we'll try it out at the end of it and see if it works. 50-50 chance. Okay, so I'm now going to attempt to reassemble this device. The first thing is probably going to be the big gear that came out of it. So that should go that way. Make sure it wasn't stuck in yet. It definitely has to go down. There we go. That should be the right orientation now. So that should turn around. When it gets to that position, should now try to move the deck, which it won't. Right in the direction. Hold on. Yeah, see, deck is moving. Okay, so that's what I wasn't getting, was that deck moving. See that? Now I'm getting it. So I'm going to now put that back where it should be starting position, which is there. And now I'm going to put on the wee cogs. So put that one on there with the arrow pointing that way. That's the way I took it off, so I'm hoping let's reset that direction. It doesn't look too complicated, this one, gearing wise. It looks actually pretty straightforward. The CLD-1850 one seemed to be fairly complicated, and I kept getting the drawer stuck open, which was quite a pain in the bum. There's a piece that goes on over here as well. I found that I'm going to say I can't remember where that goes. No! That's where you take pictures. Hold on, let me consult the picture. And the picture, let me see. Yeah, I'm sure it goes down. I can't go that way. No, it goes that way. Yeah, so this little bruiser goes on here. And the little spring, see the little spring? I'll zoom in there to show you. See that? That has to go on here, and it's easier to get it off this end than it is this end. So take it off this end when you're disassembling, alright? So I'm going to try and get this back on here. Here we go. There we go, bigger. When I'm taking these things apart, anything apart, I generally put the screws in a pile. Like, so I take this piece off, 2 screws come out, I put them to one side. You know, a lot of drivers, a lot of devices have the same screw everywhere. Some of them don't. So it can be worth writing down what the screws are, because if you don't, it can be quite tricky. So let's put the cover on the front here now. There's 2 parts to this. There's this, which goes on here. Now again, there's I know this goes on here, but where? There and there probably. Yeah, that looks right. And there's a spring. You see again, I'm going to try to zoom in there. If I move this around here. Move it around right there. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Just zoom in there a bit now. You see there now on the right hand side over here. See there? So that's where this little spring goes here. This little spring hook goes on there. And again, that's the easier part to take off. If you try to take it off the other side, it won't come off very easy. You'll find that with a lot of these mechanisms, the spring kind of comes off one end very easy and doesn't on the other. So we're just going to stretch this over these 2 babies. Now, hopefully we've got that right. The arrow's pointing this way on these 2 gears. This is in the right position here. We should be ticky-de-boo when we start up the machine. Whether it works out with that again is another story altogether. There's also a little plate that goes on top of this. So that plate goes on there. So everything should fit on nice and snugly. There shouldn't be any wobbles. If there is, you've got something seated underneath incorrectly. So I'll do it again. As with any device, when you're tightening screws in, just do them hand tight. Don't over tighten a screw. And again, when you're putting the first screw into this, tighten one, not all the way. Then do another one. Don't tighten it all the way. Then do another one. Don't tighten it all the way. And do one more. The same thing, do not tighten it all the way. Ooh, flippin' flipper. There's plenty of grease on this machine, so I didn't put any more grease on it. 2 reasons why. One, I don't have any. I have to buy some lithium grease. And secondly, to be honest with you, it seems greasy enough. I don't think that's the reason why the little plastic thing broke. I think it's just because it's fairly shitty. To be honest with you, I hear my 1950, my 2950 making grinding noises quite a bit, so maybe they need some grease. But I don't really want to take them apart because they're working, so I don't really want to mess with them. This one was broken when I got it, so I'm not going to do much harm to it. Okay, so I'm now going to transfer back over to the main machine and put this mechanism back into it. So I'll see you in a sec. Hi, if you've watched my Panasonic VHS video recorder video, you remember that the fascia was very hard to get off. Not so on the Pioneer. You've only got screws at the top, no screws in the bottom. So once the screws at the top are taken off, the whole cover falls off, no problem at all. So very easy. I'm not going to show you how that comes off again. I'm going to show you how it goes back on. So you'll see the screws going on. They're the same ones you take off, and as soon as you take them off, the face just comes off nice and easy. No need to do anything funny, you know. Okay, so got the mechanism back in place. So I don't know how I took this out, to be honest with you. There's a couple of cables here. There's 4 cables to put back in. I'm just going to bring that up for you. There's 4 cables to put back in, which I'll bring the camera back around the other way. Might be easier to see at this angle. Here we are. Yes, so I'm doing this in my kitchen because I have a bit more space. So there's 4 cables. There's a grey one, blue one, ribbon cable, and a power cable on the other side. If you're not too sure where the cables go, you shouldn't have any problem because they only go in one place. The cable ends are all unique, so you're not really going to muck it up. If you're anyway concerned about anything you've taken apart and you want to have some confidence in taking it apart, take photographs. Because if you take photographs of these things, you can then reference the photograph, just as I did with the gears at the top here. I took photographs of it because I said to myself, there's absolutely no way on this planet I'm going to remember what way they were. Okay. Right, I made an ass of that. Yeah, slide it in the front. That's the way to do that. Oh, so I'm going to slide it in the front first. Oops. Yes. Watch a man struggle with a laser drive. Once again, lift that face up. Oh, you go. The bit of this that I don't know much about, which I really need to learn, are the electronics. And this gearing and switching over here. It'd be great to know more about it. But everything takes time. Everything takes effort. So people who know those electrics know them very well, and I leave it to them. I'm just going to try and get this back in here if I can. That's it, she's back in. Now I've got to lift that up because let me see, where are we here? Yeah, you can see that, okay. Make sure you can see what I'm doing. Cable underneath. This cable. Just sort of pull it that way so you can see. The green cable goes in here, see? Just be careful, there's high voltage over here. So I'm only hoping that it doesn't do that. Okay, so now I have a brown cable and a grey cable. It's going in there, okay, that's fine. The blue cable is underneath. Now there is a little pin on this cable here, showing you which way it goes around. I don't remember which way it goes around. See, there's a red line. So I'm actually just going to check my picture that I took. I think I took a picture. I better have took a picture. I think that's the way it goes, but I just want to make sure. So better safe than blow the damn thing up at this stage. This one. Yeah. No. Go this way a bit. Would you fucking believe it? I've no picture of it. That's very clever, that is. That's very wise. That's very wise. Sometimes there's a little. Sometimes, all I need is the air that I breathe. I doubt it goes that way. Yeah, say it goes this way. I'm going to take a chance it goes this way. Sure. If it goes kablamo, it goes kablamo, and that'll be the end of it. I don't think you got it wrong though. Sometimes. Here we are. It wouldn't have killed them to put a little indication. Probably. Oh, there's a red dot. Aha! I see, there's a red dot on the actual board. Thumbs up the Pioneer. There's a red dot on the board indicating where the red stripe goes. So we're going to bring this down here if you want to show you. Oh, sorry about that. You're getting seasick. I have this thing on a tripod, so I'm now holding the tripod with one arm. So we see there's a red line, there's also a dot. So you can see the same on this one, there's a dot. So that tells you where the red stripe goes, which so it's brilliant. I doubt it would have went the other way around, simply because I would have to twist the cable around, and that wouldn't have made any sense. No engineer would do that. Just wouldn't do that. Try to keep cables straight, neat and tidy. It goes around that. Keeps it out of harm's way. So now we have the front fascia. Okay, now before I put the front fascia on, we got to line this back up, and there are 4 screws to put in, which I've now lost. Yeah, so it's full there. So the 4 screws are similar, exactly. So there's the 4 screws. So the 4 screws is 2 in the front, 2 in the rear. The screwdriver rolled off the table a minute ago, so probably got a shot in my face there, you know. Whoa, we can pause that now and see what it looked like. Okay, so I'm too hideous for TV, so that's not on TV. The Hunchback of Notre Dame, or is it Notre Dame? I don't know. It's one or the other. So now they're lined up. So again, it's easy enough to find. They're not like the Panasonic VHS drive where they were, you know, in mysterious locations. See these 2 holes here? That's where the other 2 go. I know that's going in there. This is going nowhere. Well, then we're sitting on something. We're sitting on something we shouldn't be sitting on. We man. It should be flush to the board. There we are, that's better. See? That's what I mean by check it, see if it's rocking. If it's rocking, don't come and knock it. And if it's rocking, it means that there's something underneath it. So again, put the screws in gently, just a little bit. Probably better to go up holes inside. See through the hole there? So through the hole. And go to the base. You do need to take the front drive out to get to them screws. You'll never get to them otherwise. There's one, you will be able to get to one of them, forget which one. And you'll be able to get these 2 here with the drive door open, but you won't be able to remove one more of them. So you can go all the way with them, we're okay. The drive was actually also very crunchy on this going in and out, so maybe that's been solved now as well. Unlikely, mind you. I don't know what's causing the drive to be very crunchy going in and out. What we'll do now is we are simply going to just, I love the way I said simply there. That goes underneath, yeah. Simply going to put the face back on, simply. Simply. All I need is the air that I breathe. That's not going to do it, is it? It doesn't want to work. Feck it. Scrap that. I'll put the fascia on later on. Let's just see if the damn thing works. I don't go to any more trouble. Oh wait, this is the tricky bit. I find this very tricky. Getting it straight. That's it. Oh yeah, we're off on something there, I think. I can't imagine this is going to work. It's definitely on. We're on. Let's see what happens. Let's plug it in. So there's a loud grinding noise and a big crack. We're messing back up again. We might have got it right then. You never know. Stranger things have happened. No, I got that off. Okay. Just here. Better have brought this power supply up here, that way it'd be easier to play with another. It's only a matter of what's happening there is the drive is offline, that's what's happening. So I'll just try and put that in properly. Put that in just yet. When you're taking the drive out, by the way, there's a little catch here. So there's 2 screws that go in here and here. So you take that out and then you take off this. You probably see it there in the video that the drive wasn't exactly lined up properly. That looks like it might be lined up now, isn't it? No, still not lined up properly. It's that blue and bugger to get straight, you know. It's still not right, is it? No. Just that. Try that. I'll get it eventually, hang on. It's only a matter of getting this squared on. And we'll continue recording, there's no point in stopping it. We'll just catching it. Oh jeez, maybe hold on. Oh well. Get out of the way now. Get out of the way. Get out of the way, cable. Right then. Right. Let's get that out. See, now we can. Definitely something wrong there. Give me a second. Okay, so managed to get it working. As I was showing you, there was actually the piece missing on that main cog gear, and I replaced it and the piece fell off. So I actually saw a screw and I put that on the bottom of it instead, sort of filed the end, made it smooth so that it would stick in, because I don't know how many glues going to stick to that ABS plastic. There was also another piece that was broken, had a piece missing off it as well. What was happening was the door would close in and it would keep on ejecting. It seems to be still doing that now and then, but it's not too bad, and you know, basically it's now working because it's now able to read the disc. I was concerned that it wouldn't be able to actually even do that, so I kind of wanted to make sure I got the machine, you know, closed first of all, you know. But as it turns out, there was another piece on it that I was looking at, and I was watching as the drawer was going in and out, and I realised that it as well wasn't working. And when I took the piece off, it was actually a piece on the bottom of that was broken off too, another plastic leg. So I'm just going to eject that now, and I'll show that bit to you. You don't need to, if you get a disc stuck in the machine and it doesn't want to eject, you don't need to have any power to it. All you got to do is take off, in this case, these 4 screws, take that off and you can take the disc out. So don't worry if you get a stuck disc. The other part in question that I was talking about is, let's try to zoom into it now for you, is this piece down here. Let me get this out there a bit, that'd be nice. Okay, there we are. So this bit down here, this piece going across here, there's a piece missing that ran along the track in here. Underneath, the plastic leg was broken, so the disc would go in, it would lift the head up only so far, and this is what I was noticing, was a gap between the top piece and the actual reading head. And because what's happened was the drive wasn't able to actually bring up the base all the way, because the cam has to go in to shove this piece across. Now I was doing it manually, of course, and then wondering why it wasn't working. And then I said, hold on a second, there's a piece missing here, which there was another piece broken. I didn't find that piece anywhere inside. There was another little bit of black off the big cog that I found. So yeah, the original belts I put back on, they're actually working fine, so I figured why not leave them on there. They're not too hard to get out in the future anyway. Like that belt there would be easy enough to get out. If that does go wrong, you know. I might order some anyway, just to replace them. The belts I was using were from 2 Phillips CD-ROM drives, so you know, why not, like, you know. Anyway, so it's a complicated enough fix. You see me putting them back together, so I've already shown you that bit. It's now actually functioning. As I said, there was a little leg on this that was broken, so check this part and the actual big cog, because there's a little piece sticking at the bottom. As far as where these are positioned goes, keep the hours in line, but it's not going to make any difference. The bit that matters is this bit and where this piece is in here, and after that the rest is just gravy. Seems to be a fairly simple sort of a drive, unlike the CLD-1850, which is extremely complicated. Anyway, my recommendation, buy a single-sided drive. At least there's no video head to go, or laser head to go nuts. And here's the video playing. I've no sound on it because I haven't got the sound hooked up. That shimmer you're seeing, if you are seeing it, is the video recorder. The TV isn't shimmering like that, but yeah, that's the video output of it. That's an NTSC disc. The PAL disc looked very soft, so I decided to risk an NTSC disc and see what it does. I'm actually going to try another disc now that is problematic on one of my more expensive drives. Well, my other drive anyway. See what plays on this. Okay, so you've seen that they're running. I have got it working as best I possibly can with what I have. So this piece here was missing a piece on the bottom, which moved along the grooves in here, which actually raised the deck, so the deck wasn't moving. And then the large cog gear, which I showed you already, was missing a peg off the bottom of it, which meant that when it was turning around on its axis, it wasn't sending the signal, as if it were, to start raising the deck or lower the deck and so forth. The machine is now closing. I'm trying to search for a disk, which I can't find. The drive is opening. Listen. Hear that? Okay. What's happening there is there's three little relay switches. Three little relay switches at the front of the machine, underneath here. And the little plastic arm that you just saw there is basically, it rubs against them. So I'll just move that. I'll just move this across this way. Now there's a fair bit of plastic broken off and little bits and bobs that come out of this machine. So there could be a piece missing there that I don't know about. Or it could also be the spring that holds this piece across has lost its tension and just needs a new spring. There's 4 screws, as I showed you in the video. There's 4 screws basically holding this piece down, 2 here and 2 underneath. I tried loosening them and stuff like that, but to no avail. I've also put more grease on than I care to remember. More grease, in fact, if I put onto it, would cause a worldwide shortage in grease. Anyway, so that's basically it. That's the final wrap up. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you liked it, say thumbs up down below. If you didn't like it, say thumbs down below. But yeah, subscribe to me if you like. And it'd be great if you did, but no problem if you don't. Thanks for watching.